Hello beautiful ones, welcome back to the House of Joseph. I am Joseph. It's really lovely to meet you all. If you're new here, if you're returning, welcome back. So guys, in today's tutorial I thought that I might just show you how to apply eyeshadow the correct way, if that's okay with you. So without any further waffle from yours truly, let's dive in, shall we? Now do bear in mind, beautiful ones, I can't see very much at all today because there's two lights. There's one here and there's one here, and they are incredibly bright. And also I'm quite visually impaired. I have to wear, I've got actually two pairs of glasses. One is habitually through the buttons on my shirt or whatever I'm wearing on the day, and the other one is invariably on my eyes or my face, basically. So and I should have said that they're slightly different strengths. One's for reading close-up work, one's just for basically getting around and seeing other people or just making my way in the world. So that's the excuse if all of this goes tits up, which it possibly could do. But I am a makeup artist at the end of the day, so what should we try our best? Why not? So guys, first thing to do is to prime our eyelids, and for that I'm going to use a very pale concealer, because the paler the concealer, the more vibrant the colour will be. You think about that logically. You've got a pale powder or any colour powder really. You put something white behind it, it immediately brings it forwards, makes it look more vibrant, more potent, more colourful basically. What I've just done is I placed a strategic piece of tissue paper over this light here just to try and dampen it down. So I've just removed that for the close-up work. It's all very technical and all very glamorous in this studio, guys. It isn't, but there we are. Right, that's plenty on there. So I applied about 3 dab worths. What do you call those things in there? What are they called? Something hoof. And the biggest tip I'll give you today, guys, is that when you're applying eyeshadow or indeed any sort of makeup, less is more. So start off with a really small amount and then build up. So on my brush I have just a taupey sort of colour, and what I'm going to do is, you see the crease here, and the crease is the bit where the socket bone is, or the orbital bone, and you get that crease of flesh in there, or crease of skin, whatever. That's where we're going to apply the eyeshadow. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards gently, and we're going to build up layers. Okay. I'm stopping just about 2/3 of the way into my inner corner. So if you think of your eyelid broken up into 3 sections, outer section, middle section, and then inner corner section, stop just before you get to the inner corner section. So the inner 2/3 of the eyelid. Okay, and you see I'm not bringing that above the socket. That's where a lot of people make mistakes, because they tend to bring it up way too close to the eyebrow, and then you can't do anything with it. You just can't. So again, beautiful one's got a little bit more eyeshadow on there, and this is like a cream sort of eyeshadow. So what I'm going to do is just to take most of that off onto the back of my hand, just so we've got a lot less product going on, and then do exactly the same thing as we did before. Can you see the window wipers motion I'm doing, and I'm stopping just before I get to the inner corner, or inner 2/3 of the eye. And then with a fluffy brush, a fluffy eyeshadow brush, just and we're going to go in circular motions this time. So just, yeah, I'm doing this above the socket now and graduating up towards my eyebrow. Again, leaving the inner 2/3 of the eyelid free of colour, basically, because that way it will open your eye up. I tend to think that if you have too much dark in the inner corners of the eye, it tends to close the eyes up and just makes everything look a little bit cramped and a little bit what's the word, odd, really, just odd. So, and we're trying to elongate the eyes, and you can actually start to bring that out now if you want a more of a cat-like look. Bearing in mind I've only got 2 layers on at the minute. Maybe put some tape there, or a card, or so. I prefer the card method, you know, when you use a credit card, and you place it there and you just go over with the eyeshadow. Taping is, I'm not a fan of taping at all, because it can leave micro tears in the skin, FYI. So a little bit more eyeshadow, and again just do exactly what I did before. So get most of the product off onto the back of your hand. It's a nice colour, isn't it? It's like, as I said, like a taupe. And then again, just what we did before with a fluffy brush. You don't have to pull your eyelid up. I just find it easier to do it. Circular motions. And that way I'm going to get a far smokier sort of graduation from eyelid to eyebrow, which is exactly what you want. And then you can just build that up, guys. Couldn't be simpler, could it? And we just use one shade there to get a smoky eye. If you want a more dramatic look, just put more on. Build it up, beautiful ones. How are you all? I hope you're all okay, guys. Now I haven't taken off quite so much this time, because what I'm going to try and do is just to start to emphasize the outer corner of this eye. Again, find the inner crease. And just backwards and forwards. Couldn't be simpler. And then with your soft brush, beautiful ones, circular motions, bringing that all the way up to just below the brow bone. How are we looking? Danny LaRue? Possibly, very possibly. Can you see how it's definitely elongated that eye, hasn't it? Made me more cat-like, more svelte, would you say? Svelte? Is that ever a word you could use to describe me? Svelte? I doubt it, but okay. And as I did before, I haven't got a card on me because I don't have any money. But yeah, you can just start to bring that out now. And if you go below a certain area, then just use a drop of concealer to cut into it, or whatever, really. But we're being quite precise today, aren't we? We are. And blend, 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 beautiful ones, and don't stop blending until you get your desired smokiness, and just build that up. I can't say it more simply than that. Just build it up until you get your desired depth of colour. My eyes are slightly hooded, and because my eyes are almond shaped, must stop saying almond. I get told off all the time. My mum used to hate me saying almond. David finds it quite funny every time I say almond too. Almond. My eyes are almond shaped, so they would benefit from something a little bit more elongated, but not too elongated because I don't want them to disappear. I think one more layer, and then we should call that a day, guys, and I'll show you how to finish the look off. So again, and this time I'm just going to focus in on this part of my crease. I'm just going to stay in the outer sections of my eye. I prefer to use a cream because that way you don't have any of the that hideous drop down, fall out, whatever people call it. And then go in with your brush again, and this time I'm just going to go sweeping in all the way across. There we go. And then on the inner corner I'm just going to put a touch of shimmer or highlighter to open those eyes wide up. I like to bring mine onto my lid ever so slightly, just to fill in the gaps. Feel free to follow with eyeliner, mascara, anything you want, and you can always do this in a different colour. I guess if you had very green eyes, a red might be quite nice, or if you've got blue eyes, a yellow would certainly make them pop. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I look like a drag queen now, but I'm pleased with it nonetheless. There was a very, very good reason I don't like eyeshadows, and that's the fact that I'm rubbish at putting them on. I am useless. I always have been. I don't know why it is. It's maybe because just getting so close to the eye area, or that the skin around the eyes is 3 times thinner, and I'm just a little bit cautious about putting stuff on my eyes. But I've never been a fan of getting that close to my eyes to put stuff on them, and I'm equally as bad with other people. So hence I'm a bit rubbish at it, but you get the principle though, don't you, beautiful ones? And the reason that I've done this today is because people tend to go in here just above the socket, or the socket, and they use way too much eyeshadow, and the whole thing starts to look very muddy and very obvious, and just not natural. And the whole point behind eyeshadow is to emphasize what we've got. It is in fact contouring for the eyes. It is. That's why it's called eyeshadow. Does that make sense? I better go now, guys. If you enjoyed this very, very brief tutorial, spitting now because I'm getting a bit excited, but if you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Similarly, consider subscribing, hit the notifications button to also you're notified each time I release new videos, which I'm doing about once a week at the minute, sometimes twice a week, generally only once a week though, because obviously I'm quite busy doing other stuff. I'm kidding, I'm not. But what do you reckon to the stash? 70s porn star again? Possibly. I was in Savers yesterday, and I was walking around, and suddenly this box of Auburn Head, I just jumped out off the shelf and into my basket. No reason why. What's a boy to do? Got it home, and then I was just having a shave last night, and it just jumped out again at me, and it landed on my moustache and a little bit here. And what could I do? I had to let it sit there for half an hour, rinsed it off, and so this is an Auburn Head, because the colour was a little bit pale for me before. My natural colour was very, very pale, a little bit wishy-washy, a little bit nicotine-y, sort of yellowy. Not that I smoke, because I don't smoke, but a little bit nicotine-y, grubby sort of look. So I just getting fed up with it. So I just went in with a light application of Auburn dye. So yeah, I am going to go now, guys. Take care. Remember, I love you all very much. See you soon.